So, Tarkov is wiping. Only this time, we're getting a hardcore wipe. What does that mean? What are we going to lose out on? What are we going to gain? How different will it be to a normal wipe? And when's it going to happen? We'll cover all of that right now. All of this started with a tweet from BSG on the 1st of July. And in that tweet was an image. The image stated these key facts. The flea market will be disabled. Increased item requirements for hideout zones. Hideout zones do not require to be found in raid. Limited hideout ammo crafts. And reduced spawn chance of rare loot. Well, let's start with no flea. What does that mean? Is this no flea for the whole wipe? Or just part of the wipe like last time? If I remember correctly, the first few weeks we had no wipe. For 3 weeks maybe? Is it the same again? Who knows? Hideout, you're going to need more items. Okay? But this time they're not going to need to be found in raid. I can probably live with that. Limited ammo crafts. That's going to hurt a lot of people. If you're going to struggle to find decent ammo and you're also not going to be able to craft decent ammo, that could be tricky. Reduced spawns. Rare loot. Now, Apple, who is the community lead for BSG, tweeted and basically said that the reduced loot is only for the most desirable items, aka the stuff we probably want to loot, right? In my opinion, IT loot should be hard to obtain, but doesn't always have to just be down to pure RNG. Let's make more engaging, fun events like the Labyrinth or something similar where there's multiple steps to access the best loot. Not just leaving it so that you're endlessly looting duffels and filing cabinets until you find the thing that you're after. Some ideas I have: maybe add things like ATM hacking or safe cracking or specialist rooms with like really high tier weapons and ammo. Maybe even make it so you have to transit from one map to another with a key that you find to loot a special room. That could be interesting. Let's keep this creative. And we need to make sure that the items you need, whether it be for the hideout, whether it be to barter for, they have to be there to be looted. We can't just leave this down to RNG and just endlessly running around trying to find nuts or bolts or whatever it might be. There needs to be an abundance of the items that we need. Yeah, I know that's a lot to digest from just one tweet. Well, on July the 2nd, BSG tweeted again, and in this tweet they included an image which covered some further changes. Those changes being, strap in, the first one being most locations will only be accessed through transit. I will repeat, most locations. What does that mean? You're gonna have to transit from every map to do your quest? Are you going to be locked into certain maps at the very beginning of wipe? What does that mean for loading times? How do you get to, say, Shoreline? Do all the Shoreline quests? Surely you're not going to have to transit the entirety of Tarkov just to do some quests, right? What on earth does that mean for transit campers? Oh, I've already seen some tweets from some streamers saying that this is going to make funny content. Yeah, we're all looking at you, Tiggs.
What the hell up?
Holy, this could get out of hand pretty quickly. Now, before we move on to the other items that are in this second tweet, just want to reiterate this message. I'm not completely against a hardcore wipe. In fact, I'm quite excited to see what a different version of Tarkov will play like. I'm not hating on these changes. I'm open to see how anything can play out. But I feel like BSG should have just put out there that this is very much a testing ground to see how the player base reacts to certain changes before the 1.0 release. Okay, that out of the way, let's just go through these other points. Secure container restrictions. Can't store ammo, currency, and certain medicine. What exactly does that mean? No ammo, self-explanatory. Currency. Okay, so you can't stack your container full of currency from looting cash registers. Fine, we can all live with that. But some meds, Are we talking serve kits and grizzlies for early wipe? Or are we saying that you can't maybe put LEDXs in your container? What about stims? Injector cases? This could be pretty crazy, and I've not seen a huge stink about this one, but that could be pretty game affecting. Okay, limited trader interactions, reduced range of available medicine, weapons, ammo, and armor. Think we can all live with that, right? How long? What's limited? Half the trader items are going to be missing? A quarter? 90%? We need some more info. Let's not pass judgment on that one just yet. Reduced item selling price and increased purchase price. So we can't find any loot. It's going to be very difficult to make money, and everything's going to be really expensive. Is that a talk of recession? Well, the third tweet definitely took a change. 100% boss spawns on all locations. That could be really, really interesting. Think about it. Every single quest that you have to attempt, you're going to have to fight your way either around a boss or through a boss, and potentially through players that are also fighting the boss. That could make for a really interesting gameplay dynamic. Something I am genuinely really excited to see how it plays out.
So excited!
It ain't going to be easy though, because remember, you're going to have really rubbish ammo, really rubbish armor, and you're going to be fighting bosses day one of wipe. But it could be really, really interesting. Reduced experience for killing enemies and dying. I read that simply as if you die, you get less XP. Increased experience for surviving. That is exactly what it says on the tin. If you live and survive, you get more XP. Sounds fine to me. Increased AI difficulty. If they do this right, this could be great. You're going to have to think about everything that you do. You're going to have to treat scabs with respect, and you can't just run through the map as some Giga Chads really do. They're pushing the survival element here, and that could again make for a really interesting way of playing Tarkov.
So excited!
Will they get it right? We've seen BSG make AI difficult in the past, and I'm a little skeptical, but I hope they manage to do this justice. So what do all of these changes mean for the general player base? What does it mean for the casuals? How many of you are excited by these changes? Comment down below, or stop by the Twitch chat and let me know exactly what you're thinking. Are you itching to get started again? Or are you taking a break until 1.0? That's the one thing I've heard a few people say. That worries me, because the last thing that I want is for the community to be trying something new and many of the community not showing up to get involved. In my opinion, give it a go. If you like it, great. If you dislike it, give some feedback. I hope BSG put it out there as part of the in-game survey to get feedback on this early on. And if you dislike the changes, make yourself heard. Don't be concerned about people calling you out for criticizing the game. Give as much feedback as possible. But my ask to you as a Tarkov player, give it a go. One final ask from me. This video has taken me about 6 hours to make. If you've seen any value in it at all, please consider liking the video, subscribe if you're not already, and share it with a mate. See you in the next one.